Robin Williams. I actually work evening shift, so I came in today to attend your meeting. A little bit under the weather, so if I sound kind of groggy, that's why. I don't know if it's seasonal or if I'm coming out with a cold because of this weather. But if you have any questions or you need anything involved in this neighborhood, said if these ladies can't help you, or you can contact me. I'm here at the precinct. It says the number is 254-2685 and 2684. There's always someone on the desk, and like I said, anything that you guys need, just feel free to call. I've been an officer for 24 years as of this past March, and in September I was a supervisor for 2 years, so kind of new to the supervisory thing, but it's been a great career. I've been in the community for quite a while. I work community service with the SRO program, and I've worked with the CPR program, which also has a Citizens Police Academy. So if you're interested in knowing, what police officers go through and about their training, that might be a good choice for some of you. The Citizens Police Academy, the CPR office is right upstairs. They're in a class now, so I think they try to put on at least 2 classes a year. You can go to the Birmingham Police website and click on the CPR. There's an application there, and there's information and contact information and everything you need to know about that. But like I said, that might be, especially the block watch captains, that might be a great investment of your time.
I was actually thinking if I had the sheriff come over there where I work downtown, they did a thing for like 2 or 3 hours, and they were saying that they would volunteer to come here if we didn't have anybody to help us. I said, I believe we have somebody, so I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, the class is usually like once a week. I think they have it on Tuesday, and it's just for a couple of hours. It won't take very much out of your time. And it's, like I said, it's a wealth of information, and you'll get to talk to, have instructions from every department and unit that we have, state agencies. We even have somebody come from Jefferson County. So, like I said, it'll be really worth your while if you decide to do the Citizen Police Academy. And this is Sergeant Clyde.
It's his turn next. Sergeant, your time too.
Well, okay. Hey, I'm Sergeant James Clyde. I'm here with Birmingham. Been here going on 28 years. Been out at East Lake since '99 when I got promoted. Been up in Audubon for about 1.5 years before I came back in 2008. Apparently East Lake couldn't do without me. I've been on day shift since, like say, 2008. Day shift sergeant, usually here on Saturdays. Sometimes I take off. Most of the time I'm here. So if you ever need me, I'm primarily, like say, Woodlawn, supervisor over the Woodlawn area. We have 4 districts. Sergeants, each sergeant has a district of their own. That covers Woodlawn, Inglenook, anything over around Eastwood Mall area, Old Eastwood Mall area, Central Plaza, the Crestwood area. That's all mine. We have 3 other sergeants that breaks down different areas around here on day shift, and also if you ever need us, just give us a call. We don't mind coming out and talk to you or whatever. Beat off. Anybody live in Woodlawn area? Okay. Well, we got a new beat off.
Those are all East Lake people in Huffman.
Okay, I'm covering East Lake today.
Okay.
Well, actually, I am.
Well, for one thing, see, my lawnmower was stolen, and he hadn't found it yet.
Shame on you.
Shame.
Anyhow, East Lake area, that's Sergeant, I'll just go ahead and give you an idea who the sergeant on day shift are. Sergeant Carlos Williams, he handles the East Lake area, which is from anywhere from 64th Street, 1st Avenue, 64th. It takes in the projects over there, Gate City. Also, it has anywhere from 64th Street all the way up to a Porto, on up to 80th Street, where you get on the interstate right there at 80th Street. and then goes on up to about 87th Street, real big, big district. He has all of that, Airport Hills, the Brown, what is that, Brownlee Heights over there. A lot of stuff. He has a lot of the stuff covered over there. And then you have the middle section here, around the precinct and all, Sergeant Rosie Jones. So like I say, both of them's off today. She covers that, and she has what we call 2-6, 2-7, and 2-8. That's Roebuck and up here on around the precinct here, and then all the way up to about 97th Street, I think it is. Up around the Wendy's, she has up there. Then the sergeant, our senior sergeant, which Sergeant Fred Washington, he has 230s beat out around the hospital up there. He has around the horse track, all that out there, Huffman area, all this here. So Sergeant Washington covers all that. So it's just a quick overview of who covers what, but like I say, usually myself and Sergeant Williams is here, Sergeant Carlos Williams, is usually here on Saturdays, and like I say, sometimes one of us will take off or so. But if you don't get a response and one of us takes off, usually we're here, like today I'm here, that's it. So if you get a response or see someone, just give us a call, we'll get to you just as quick as we can. But our officers are out there, so I may get tied up on the phone or something else I'm having to do paperwork-wise. So. But I see that gentleman there a lot Fridays. What is it? When are we coming up for another one? Another meeting? When we got another meeting up here?
Bravo Heights.
Yeah.
May the 8th.
May 8th. So it's like I say, it's Airport Hills. That's Sergeant Williams' district, but usually since he's off on Friday, I cover for him up there. So if you have any questions or anything, if not, I'm going back to my desk where it's covered up. Hopefully I can get it uncluttered before I leave today. So.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I think the reason why you see a large turnout of Eastlake people right now is we've had a situation where we've had a lot of gunfire recently. And one of the questions the one question I have is, when we start hearing gunshots, do you want us calling 911 direct, or would you rather call you guys and then have it be treated? Okay.
Now, let me explain to you what happens if you call from precinct. We simply refer you back down.
Right.
All calls are dispatched out of the radio room. They have to go through a complaint clerk, which sends it over to our dispatcher, who turns around and dispatches it out. If for some reason that you did call in here and it was a simple emergency to the point where you see somebody actually physically getting hurt, yeah, we'll go ahead and respond to the scene and all, but we're going to turn around and get that call back down to dispatch and all, where they can make sure they got it on their records and all.
Right.
We don't want somebody to be told, hey, this person is getting beat down or gotten shot out here, and they call the precinct, and we not respond until we get the call. Now, we're going to go ahead and go that way, but we'd like for all calls to go to that location there, and then they dispatch it out to us. So.
Okay.
Okay?
Any more questions?
Do you have any other questions for Sergeant?
Well, I also like to add to that, ironically, he and I have the same district. He has it in the daytime, I have it in the evening, as I'm the evening shift supervisor. And in the mornings, overnight, is Sergeant Stringfellow. Again, like you said, if you have any questions or you need anything, if it's not an emergency, you can call the precinct. If you need to make a report, you can make a report here at the precinct. If it's nothing, it's not an emergency, but of course, in all emergencies, make sure you call the operator first. And I also would like to invite those of you, we don't have anybody here from the Pressville area, do we?
No, it's just me.
Okay. On the 30th, we'll be celebrating the retirement of Officer Lynn Welch, who is officer on 220. It'll be here at the precinct from 3 until 5. So if anybody would like to come and wish him well, consider this your invitation.
Thank you.
Now, where do you say Eastlake area? Give me an idea of where you live.
Over by Ruffner Mountain Nature Center, and I know he's down on
8300 block of 4th.
We live on the corner of 80th and Division.
Okay.
And 84th Street South.
Okay. That's gonna be all covered over in that area there, that's gonna be covered on day shift. That will be Sergeant Williams, Carlos Williams, but the officer, the primary beat officer on that beat would be, McCray, Officer McCray. He runs that, every day, Tuesday through Saturday.
What about at night?
At night, it's going to be, that I have to find out for you, ma'am.
On the
So
evening
that's-
shift?
On an evening shift, I'm not sure of, and on morning shift, I could check the roster and let you know, because I'm not, I know they have one assigned, but, you know, they do their own thing on it.
That's 2 to 4?
Yeah.
Well, we're kind of in the process of reassigning beats, because we're actually having to switch around some things, because we've got a couple of people retiring and transferring out, so our beats are going to change up. But usually 224 was Officer Fitzgerald and Officer Lane, but this last time I think he moved to 225. So right now we have Officer Denard and Officer Gillespie.
Yeah, they've come to our neighborhood association meeting.
Officer Denard and Officer Gillespie.
Only other question I have is it true that they've gotten rid of the shot spotter?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not that I
That's
know.
misinformation.
And I'm gonna say that usually when they're shooting, the dispatcher alerts us because of the shot spotter.
Okay.
And a lot of times we find that it's like fireworks. But again, if you're suspicious that it's not fireworks, then you know.
Well, I'm a former Marine, so I can tell the difference between fireworks and weapon fire.
It is a distinct sound, don't it?
Yes, it is, very much so.
But it's really
But it
good.
will be-
That's what they're here for.
Right.
So don't hesitate to call, because they'll come
Please
out.
don't. If you hear, you know, you hear shots fired, shot spotter usually don't pick it up.
Okay.
If it's a single round, sometimes it won't, sometimes they will. But let us go ahead and come out anyway and check it out. What I would ask you not to do is go out looking for it. We talked to a
He
guy,
just
very-
busted my bubble.
you know,
He's
some
gonna say
people
exception.
like to be safe, some people like to be involved. We would like for you to be involved from a distance, like maybe a wall, looking out the window.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm not that gungy anymore.
Maybe even with a camera, taking pictures or whatever. We had an incident the other day where a gentleman called me down and he saw a situation happen. I'll be very brief here. He saw something happen and he was taking pictures of it. I have no problem with that. That's a great tool. It got the tag number off the car, the suspect's vehicle, whole 9 yards. Great. The only problem is he said, I just didn't go far enough. I wanted to get on over there and stop them. No, that's not your job. You're a citizen. Be safe. You know, get us what we can help, that you can help us with. And taking a picture though is great, but when you call in to tell the officer that's coming, please pass that on what you got, where we can be looking for that. If we find out once we got there, that vehicle's gone, it'll be riding around somewhere, officers who's coming to the scene will not know that. But if we know it ahead of time, and you got it on a camera or whatever, but please don't go outside and try to jump into the bushes and look for them, and, you know, just, if you hear it, let us know, call it in, make a call. If you see any cars doing something, you know, anything you see out of the ordinary, that would be great. So it'd be a helpful tool to us, but we don't want you getting hurt.
You might want to need to get up a May the 8th meeting.
Okay.
We're going to be discussing closing some of the roads over Airport Highland, a neighborhood, you know, with the Airport houses.
Okay.
We're going to be discussing that on May the 8th by closing some of those streets, because we found too many junk cars down in that little slope down in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we already had one meeting at City Hall. We think about closing those streets off.
Which streets we're talking about?
87, 86,
Yeah.
85th,
17th Avenue.
85th is the street off of Zion City Road. They go get the Johnson Funeral, that street particularly.
Yeah.
Because they would find a lot of junk cars.
Right, where they set them on fire out there when they get through with them. Where they dump them on the road and set them on fire. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little dumping ground.
I don't know, you mentioned, what is a shot spotter?
Shot spotter is the tool that we use it's posted around the neighborhoods, and what it does is pick up firearm shots. Whenever a gunshot goes off, it registers on that and sends a call into the dispatcher, letting them know that there's been gunshot fired in that area, and it designates where that area is. And so that spot, normally during holidays when they celebratory, we get a whole bunch of calls in, not only from citizens, but that thing is picking up a whole lot of calls.
So it's like it's a box on the side of the road.
Well, we can't give you that.
No.
We don't even know where it's at.
We can't give out that information.
We do not know
But it's
where the
out there.
shot spotters are. They do not tell us where they're at. We're told that they're in the neighborhood, and they pick up, dispatchers get the information, they dispatch it out to us.
How can we get more of those? Because literally, we are having gunshot problems in Southeast Lake. I mean, I heard one last night, it was a single shot.
Well, that's unusual that we're actually, at least we're down to single shots now, because for
Yeah,
a while
'cause
there,
there's
it's been,
multiples.
you know,
Yeah.
it's been,
Of-
Well, I would think that it
12
would be
rounds.
virtually impossible, which we would love to not have any,
oh,
Yeah.
but you're going to have one stray one
Round.
here or there. I mean,
Yeah.
to say that if you got some more of them out there, would it push it down? And this is my opinion, that would it push it down to zero? I don't know. You know, we do all we can do to be in the neighborhoods with our windows down so far, listening out ourselves when we drive during the daytime and all. Because, you know, if you've looked across the nation, one of the biggest things now is ambushes on police officers. And that is a big topic now. And so, yes, we're very cognizant of the fact that we don't want to get hurt. But to single, you know, to just, I don't know if you'd ever do that, be able to stop every one of them. Somebody's going to step outside and fire a round off every now and then,
Yeah.
or be out in the yard and fire a round off.
Have the shot spotters been useful in apprehending people? Have you been able to find anybody who
During the last, I want to say it was the last or the year before, they did have a good rapport with that because of the fact the chief was out that night working with some of the officers and all. And yes, they did make some arrests on that. The shot spotter picked up on some celebratory gunfire, and they rode to the, got to the scene, and the guy was still out, still on the scene. They were able to match his firearm with the shell casings and stuff like that. And what they do is if they find shell casing, a lot of times they'll pick it up, and if they find a firearm, they check all firearms against any kind of crime. The lab down there does. So, okay.
And can I also say, when y'all hear those shots, I mean, for a while, you know, I'm like y'all, it's like, okay, well, you know, they're doing it again. But if we don't call and let them know, then they won't know if there's a problem in the area. So whenever I hear one, I can even sometimes say, okay, I just heard 5 rounds. You know, I mean, that's what or like, you wouldn't believe the mass ones I'm hearing now, because it sounded like somebody was shooting back and forth at each other. But, you know, if they don't know that, we don't call it in, because lots of times we get so used to hearing it that we don't think, you know, about calling in, because we think somebody else is gonna call it in. But we really need to call it in and let them know, that way they know what problem is more in that area, you know.
Regardless if they get 2 or 3 phone calls on the one thing, it's better to do that than not call it off. Or say, well, John Doe's gonna call it in, I won't worry with it.
Once they get multiples also, they can kind of triangulate. It's like, hey, it was coming from south of me, coming from north of me.
Exactly.
Uh,
Do y'all have any questions to ask Sergeant Williams also today?
Oh, and she also, as far as I know, and we got to have a meeting amongst ourselves, she's the one that comes to your house when you want to have a block watch form. She comes, and Sandra and I can go with her to get your block watch established.
Initial.
You know, the initial thing on it. And like I say, it's not hard. You just get your neighbors involved. You have a sticker. You can have a meeting. I think this book says like 4 times a year or something like, but you can have your meeting anytime. It doesn't matter. We have a national night out. If any of y'all are familiar with that, that's where the neighbors get together in someone's house, have a cookout, get to know your neighbors. And also, if you call the precinct, and of course now we'll have a meeting before the National Night Out, and you can tell us that you're gonna have a party and you'd like for the police officer to come by. Listen, these guys and girls around here, you mentioned food, and it's just like plenty, beast of money. But anyway, they will come and let the neighbors that's never met the police officer, meet them, so they'll get to know. But anyway, Robin is the one that we're gonna work with to get you established as a block watch captain, and you can have co-captains to help you out. And, have you got anything else, babe?
And some, excuse me, and it's up to Robin really, if she wants to say, okay, if y'all want a meeting, if Robin feels more comfortable here, for y'all to come, or if she wants to go to your block, we'll let Robin decide that.
Yes, you can have your meetings here, but you have to let her know in advance so she can look on the calendar to see if this room is open at that certain time.
Is it safe to say that if, no, we just moved into our current block about, what, 4 months ago. So we don't know all the neighbors, but I don't see who I recognize as a neighbor here. Is it safe to say if we're the only two from our block that we don't have a block captain, would that person be here today? Is that a pretty good bet?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you would like to be a block captain, that's one way to get to know your neighbors and them to get to know you. So you might want to invite your neighbors, set up a meeting with Robin, and invite your neighbors to come. And that way they'll meet our crime prevention officer. And yeah, your beat officer can come to any of your meetings. If you have a meeting, usually I used to call down at the precinct and tell them I'm having a meeting Saturday night, put it on the board, get the beat officer to come by. If he doesn't show up now, don't be disappointed, because he could be on a call.
Especially on a Saturday. Hopefully we get more than a week's notice.
Right.
But if it is a week notice, if it is that day, we'll do our best to have someone there.
Do y'all have any more questions to ask our police officers today? Any problems, or you want to know about something, or do you have anything that's been going on in the neighborhood that you know of that we haven't spoken about, or?
No, I know that, that overall, we're actually experiencing a decrease in crimes.
That's wonderful.
Over the last year, Dr. Kaplan was talking about that just night before last, that, we went from being, the last to, we're almost number one as far as the drop in criminal activity around here. Not saying that we still don't have criminal activities, because, these are crimes of opportunity, and when there's an opportunity, the burglar, will strike. But the most important thing is that, secure your home, make sure that it's well lit, that you have, that you keep, brushing debris down from around your windows, that, you be aware of your surroundings when you're coming and going, whether you're at home or whether you're shopping in the malls. Always be aware of your surroundings. If a little hair is pricking on the back of your neck, somebody's trying to tell you something, just be very aware. And ladies, I always recommend that when you go shopping, get the little crossover bag or the little hip thing, so that you can keep your money and your valuables close to you, your cards and your ID and things like that, because it's easy pickings from a shopping cart. You're putting your stuff in your car, your purse is right there. Somebody come by and grab it and they're gone. And if it's late at night and you're at Walmart has great cameras, but cameras can't help you when somebody's up on you. So, like I said, if it's late at night and, you feel uncomfortable going to your car, they have the mall security that rides around there. Usually at night, there's a police officer in there. Just get the security in the car to follow you to your, to your car, or to at least look out for you. Just don't take any unnecessary chances. There's guys and girls too. As I know guys are like, hey, I ain't gonna mess with me, but, like I said, opportunity presents itself.
Have your keys ready so that when you get to your car door, you can lock it immediately. You're not fumbling with your keys when you get to the door. That's it.
Yeah, you can also use your key fob. If somebody comes up on you,
Put your pen-
alert, do your alarm button.
We've also told that you can stick your keys in
Between your fingers.
Your fingers and let them have it.
Yeah, you can do that, but, we don't want you to get that close to them.
If they are that close, you
In the
can.
event-
Only me.
Well, no, I usually, even if I'm out late at night and, when I walk to the car, I have my key in my hand and it's sticking out or whatever, but like I said, I'm always aware, and I'm always aware of that person that's coming close to me, because you never know.
I've seen them in the parking lot when this one lady saw a guy walking up and down the parking lot, and it was by her car, and she got close enough to her car that she set off that panic button, and that man just shot right out, because he thought he'd been had.
And like I said, if you're just late at night and somebody's sitting in the car when you walk up, just pay, really close attention to it. Like I said, if you don't feel comfortable, get somebody to come out there with you. Be safe and not sorry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.